Hey everyone, it's Julie Hutchison here from Think, Be, Do Leadership and home of the Quiet Leaders Launchpad with a bit of a sore throat. So apologies if I sound quite gruff this morning. Welcome to the first working day back for me this 2021, and hope you're ready to unleash your brilliance on everybody for this year. This is what we're going to talk about today, though, is am I abnormal? Not just me, but you as well. And I'm hoping that you are abnormal, because I was talking to my daughter, and it was a couple of weeks ago now, but this kind of keeps coming up for her, and it comes up for a lot of us, not just when we're kids, but as we get older. But do you remember when when you were at school and nobody really wanted to be like, nobody said anything that was out of the ordinary because they wanted to be part of something? And when you feel like you want to fit in and you want to kind of don't rock the boat and don't upset anybody, and you want people to like you. Have you ever had that feeling? It's a nice way of being, isn't it? When people like you, people feel comfortable with you, they know what they're going to get, and we're all friends, and that makes us feel nice and safe and secure. That feeling. The problem is, as we all know, that then there's somebody that always puts their oar in and changes something up and makes changes and makes everybody feel downright awkward. Now, if you've ever had this at work, or you've ever had this with a group of friends, when some new person comes in or something, and it kind of feels like, oh God, why are people changing this, and why is this happening, and why are they coming in? This person's different, and I don't like it. And the problem is that if you like to be normal, the problem with normal is like, what is normal for a start? Because if you look at, in fact, I was talking to my daughter about this. She's 10. We were doing averages the other day, which is like, what's normal? What's average? Well, if you think about average for all of us non-mathematicians out there, but you add up all of the differences. So if I had 10 sweets and you had 2, and Bob has 3 or whatever, we add them all up and we divide by the number of people and we get an average. Now, the problem with that average is, or let's say the norm and the average and all of those things, go on, back to maths now. Haunting me. But the problem with all of that is that reality is that everybody could have like different numbers of something, different numbers of sweets, or different numbers of anything, or have a different opinion. But if we were to add it all up and divide by the number of people, there's this normal, this average. But the fact is that nobody actually has that many sweets, or nobody actually has that feeling, because it's the average. It's not an actual real thing. It's not the norm. It's not actually necessarily real. And not only that, it's not what you believe or what Bob believes or what I believe, because it's an amalgamation of all of this stuff. So the problem with being normal is that we're not really driving for what we believe in. We're not really getting what we had or what we wanted. We're just kind of fitting into somebody else's way, this norm of being or of having. Now, that sounds kind of like okay, because it probably means that there's not too much conflict, and there's not too much kind of like bad feeling, because it's easy. Yeah, it's easy. Now, the problem with that is easy doesn't take us anywhere, because it's like stagnant and it's stale. And certainly in 2021, we do not want stagnant or stale. We need something that's going to drive us forward. And so abnormal is where we need to be. So I was walking my daughter to school before Christmas, and she said to me, you're different from other mums, not all of them, but some of them in our school. And I said, I don't want to be the same. And she said, well, they say I'm different, and I like singing, and I like talking, and I like to. And I said, do you want to be different? You were never ever meant to be the same as everybody else. And this applies to all of us, and you as well, because we don't want to be normal. We don't want to be the same. We want to be the driver of something better for the group. Because if you want to be the leader, and if you listen to this, then hopefully you do, because if you want to be the leader, then you do not have to shout and scream and be center of attention, but you do need to be able to drive people, and drive in a sense of drive their desire, I suppose, not drive them as in push them there, but you need to drive that desire, and you need to open up their minds. You need to open up your mind, because you don't, they won't, so that they can want to come with you to the place where you're opening them up to. So we need as leaders to stand up and be different to a degree than the norm. So abnormal is perfect, because if you're abnormal, yes, you might create a bit of conflict, and yes, you might create a bit of like push and shove and tension, let's say. It's one of my favorite words of the year, tension. But you may create this tension, but actually that's what's needed to make a change. And we most definitely need to make a change at the moment, because what we need is people to move forwards. We need people to have ideas. We need people to work together to take on those ideas. And that's not going to happen if everybody's too busy being normal, the same, equal, and just nice and steady. So what I'm saying is that if you think that you might be the bit of the outlier, and you might think, well, I think a bit differently, then, or you actually think, yes, you know what, I am pretty abnormal, because I would say I am, then that should be absolutely celebrated, because abnormal will get you where you need to go, and it will get other people in your team or in your business or whatever around you where they need to go as well. Because people, not everybody's going to be the leader. Let's say, I was going to say not everybody's going to be abnormal, but actually by definition nobody really is normal, as we've said. So you need to be able to be abnormal, because if you stand up and step up and talk about what you believe in and are able to drive change, then those other people can then come out of that norm, come out of that, oh, I want to stay where I am, I want to stay steady, and will be able to move with you. So as a leader, abnormal is fantastic. Okay, you'll be able to drive change, you'll be able to get that challenge. So what I want to know from you guys is how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself trying to fit in, or do you see yourself being confident in stepping up, standing out and saying what you believe in, even if it means that you are going to maybe cause a few waves, even if it means that you might offend somebody or say what needs to be said, but nobody really wants to say it. It's a bit like the emperor's new clothes. Do you see yourself doing that, or do you worry about how do I go about doing that without causing conflict, without actually making the enemies and creating an outcast rather than just a little bit abnormal? So if that's something that you think, oh yeah, I'd love to be able to do that, but I'm not sure how and I don't have the confidence to do it, then we will be looking at this, and we always look at this in our Leaders Launchpad, but we are going to be running the 5-day Unleash Your Brilliance Kickstart in now 14 days, the 18th of January. It's coming, and you need to register for it, because what we're going to do there is start off unleashing that brilliance that you have in there, unleashing that abnormality. I might sneeze any second now. So join us, because it will help you to focus on, thank you, just somebody's put a thumbs up. Is that because I'm going to sneeze, guys? Please comment if that's made me giggle for the morning. So I've lost where I was. Yeah, please join us. So you just need to, in fact, let me put the link on. Hang on. There, the link's in the chat with a bit of luck. I'll put it in the comments later on as well. I think I've done it. So sign up, because what we're going to do for 5 days, not the whole 5 days, but for 5 days, we're going to give you some work to do. We are going to help you to focus on unleashing your confidence, unleashing your focus, and unleashing this thing that you need to stand up for. And this abnormality, I probably shouldn't say that, it sounds a bit weird, but I want you to be different. I want you to be somebody who people can look at and say, do you know what, Bob, you're different. I want to follow you, because that's when people start to realize that you've got something to say and they want to hear it. But what we need to do is help you to know what it is that you want to say, how are you going to get that across, and how you need to be thinking and behaving so that you can really bring people with you. And that's what we want to do on the Unleash Your Brilliance. We're going to take a kickstart of your brilliance for 2021. And what that means is that for 5 days, every day I'm going to give you a worksheet to do and a video to watch, and then I want you to go away, find yourself a cup of tea, and just sit down for yourself for 20 minutes, half an hour, and think about and write down on the worksheet what it is that you understand about this of yourself, what it is you want to do, and come up with some plans on how you're going to unleash this for 2021. Okay, so over that 5 days, about half an hour a day, and then come back to me in the group. Two times in the group will be live, so you get a chance to have your questions answered, you get a chance to have a comment on what we're going to say, or even share with us what work you've done. And then at the end of 5 days, you will have a plan where you will be able to unleash that on the world if you haven't already by then. Okay, so I want you to be abnormal. I want you to unleash your brilliance, and come and join us. The link is there. Please don't miss out, because do you know what? It doesn't cost you anything, and actually spending 5 lots of half an hour to an hour a day on yourself is probably a really good thing for January, and a really good thing for generally the way we are at the moment. So I'll see you there, and remember, abnormal is good. Have a wonderful day. Take care.